Hello everyone, R3D Shifters here, and we are proud to introduce our brand new R3DWhoop Muon, a 65mm Cinewhoop designed to mount a 14mm HD camera with a HD DVR. Just for comparison, here is a standard sized whoop frame, and as you can see, there's not much difference at all. Let's begin. So the first thing you want to do is unscrew the fuselage. As usual with R3D Shifters fuselages, you don't have to unscrew the screws all the way out. You can leave them hanging, so they will also guide themselves back in to the frame when you assemble it. Let's put this aside and move on. Let's start with how to insert the FC. First thing you want to do is orient your FC. Once you do so, locate your USB, which is usually at the back, and what you want to do is start by inserting your FC in an angle like this. And what you're trying to do is clear all those additional pegs for the DVR. So go ahead and insert your FC like so, and you're basically going underneath the bottom structure to begin with. Use the stretch of the frame to clear all the components. Now you brought your FC to a condition where it is at the bottom of your build. Obviously this is not how it's going to stay, but this is step one to make this easy for you. Next thing you want to do is you want to start bringing the FC back up into the soft mounts that will already be located inside the frame. And this is similar to how we've been doing it in our previous frames. Using the flex of the frame, you will insert the FC into the soft mount slots. Here we go. So slowly but surely what you're doing is taking the frame and pulling it out in order to allow for the flight controller to elevate into the soft mount. And you continue in the same exact fashion all around. That's 2. Number 3, I'm going to pull it out. It's in. Number 4 is in. FC is fully inside, the soft mounts fully soft mounted. Step 2, let's talk about the DVR. This design was originally for a 20x20 DVRs. This will fit your Runcam Split 3 Nano and your baby turtle. If you'll notice, there are tiny little pegs here designed to fit inside your 20x20 mounting holes if you orient your DVR in a diamond format. Place your DVR at the back like this, and what you want to do is make sure that those tiny little peg holes fit inside the 20x20 hole like so. They will snap right inside there. And then you'll notice that the back 25x25 hole perfectly aligns with the 20x20 mounting format. This results in the DVR sitting slightly more backwards, balancing the camera. Next step, camera. This is pretty straightforward. 14x14mm HD camera. Go ahead and clear this little curve, right, and stretch the frame around it, and you'll have full access through the ducts to mount your camera. This is pretty straightforward. One more thing we'd like to point out is if you decided to buy the new Whoop edition of the baby turtle, then what you need to do is either mount your DVR, which will be, instead of 20x20 mounting holes, will be 25x25 at the top, which will then align with these holes, like so. Note that you might have to add a little washer here for this gap. This will in turn lift up your fuselage, cause your camera to perhaps sit a little bit higher so you won't be getting like complete zero angle, but still a very low angle. But regardless, you can just place it on top, like so. It'll fit right in. Let's put it back where it was, since we're using a 20x20. Nice little snap. It's in place. Let's go ahead and insert the fuselage, and how you want to go about this is you want to put it around the camera at first, and then back into the build. Another thing to point out is that if you can see, the camera has a slat which allows it to slide back and forth. So in order for the camera to be fully protected, or according to your height, the angle, you can adjust it as well as back and forth as needed. Let's talk about where to place your other components. You are going to want to have the maximum space between the FC and the DVR. And the reason is you want your FC to be soft mounted. You don't want anything pressuring the gyro. Let's switch to a fully built Muon and show you how to place your components. And we're going to start by talking about the VTX. As you can tell, there's plenty of room between the top of the DVR board and the top of the fuselage for any VTX you want to put in there. Feel free to route the antenna like so, or in however fashion you desire. If you're using an external receiver, this is where we suggest putting it. There's a little place here, let me remove the batteries. There's a little place here at the bottom between the X and the camera that will host small external receivers such as TBS Nano or XM. Lastly, let's talk about the X-Bay. The X-Bay will fit your batteries, 2 1S batteries adjacent to one another. There's also an option to use slightly larger batteries. The X-Bay might be a little tight at first, but it will expand over use, which is why we made it tight to begin with. And that's all. R3DWhoop Muon, perfectly balanced 65mm frame, HD Cinewhoop. Happy flying.